Amy Morin, 13 Things Mentally Strong Parents Don't Do. Raising Self-Assured Children and Training Their Brains for a Life of Happiness, Meaning, and Success. The book 13 Things Mentally Strong Parents Don't Do by Amy Morin addresses the importance of raising mentally strong children who can face life's challenges with resilience and self-assurance. By developing good habits as a parent and creating a healthy environment for their children, parents can equip them to handle adversity without seeing themselves as victims. This summary sheds light on the essential skills parents must impart to their children, such as handling responsibilities, choosing true thoughts over negative ones, managing guilt, and understanding the consequences of overprotective and perfectionist parenting.
Raising mentally strong children. Encouraging mental strength in children is just as important as physical fitness, and as a parent, it's essential to instill healthy habits that foster mental and emotional well-being. By setting a good example, refusing to encourage victimhood, letting children handle their problems, and teaching them to focus on true thoughts instead of negative ones, parents can raise mentally strong, self-reliant, and empathetic children capable of turning setbacks into opportunities. In a world that prioritizes physical fitness, mental and emotional well-being often take a back seat. However, equipping your child with mental strength is key to their overall personal development. Mentally strong children are more likely to transform setbacks into opportunities and remain resilient in the face of life's challenges. To raise a mentally strong child, begin by practicing healthy habits yourself, as this will make it easier for you to pass these on to your child. Avoid the temptation to constantly defend or come to their rescue when they've been wronged, especially in the age of social media. Encourage your child to take responsibility and tackle life's challenges rather than adopting a victim mindset. Consider the case of Cody, a teenager who struggled with ADHD. Despite medication improving his attention in class, his grades didn't improve because his parents reinforced his belief that his diagnosis was a barrier to his success. Once they changed their approach and acknowledged his ability to handle responsibilities, Cody's effort and grades improved as well. To foster mental strength, hold your child accountable for their actions and allow them to face the consequences of their choices. Let them problem solve at every turn, and let them practice resolving conflicts on their own during unstructured playtime, an invaluable skill that requires practice to develop fully. In addition to accountability, assign your child household responsibilities. Studies show that children who participate in chores from an early age are more likely to become successful, empathetic, and self-reliant adults. Lastly, teach your child to move away from blue thoughts, blaming others, looking for bad news, unhappy guessing, exaggerated negativity, and instead, focus on true thoughts that promote responsibility, positivity, action, and finding exceptions. By nurturing your child's mental and emotional well-being, you can pave the way for a more balanced and resilient adult, capable of thriving in a demanding world. Conquering parental guilt. It's natural for parents to feel guilty at times, but decisions shouldn't be made out of guilt alone. Parents must gauge whether guilt is warranted, and if so, adjust their behavior accordingly. Unwarranted guilt should not lead to overprotective parenting. Instead, focus on teaching children the skills they need to thrive in life. Parenting is a tough job, and concerns about being a good enough parent are shared by many. A striking 94% of mothers, according to Baby Center's survey, experience the notorious mommy guilt. It's important to remember that while parental guilt can be helpful in identifying areas for improvement, relying on guilt to make decisions can prove detrimental. Guilt might tempt parents to give in to their child's demands to avoid feeling bad in the moment. Consider Joe's situation. His pediatrician threatened to call Child Protective Services because his son Micah was severely overweight. Joe struggled to deny Micah junk food, as the immediate guilt of seeing his son upset was hard to endure. But Joe ultimately realized that setting limits on Micah's food consumption was essential for his long-term well-being. Like Joe, parents need to confront the immediate guilt and prioritize their child's long-term benefit. However, if guilt isn't warranted, parents shouldn't catastrophize. For instance, not being able to buy a child the latest sneakers doesn't make them a social outcast. Remember to forgive yourself for any perceived shortcomings. As a role model, pass on self-compassion to your child, rather than self-condemnation. Many parents fall into the trap of parenting out of fear. An example is April, who kept her children away from water due to her brother's tragic drowning. But this avoidance ultimately put her child in danger, as he wandered into a neighbor's pool without knowing how to swim. Realizing her mistake, April understood that teaching her children to swim would be the best protection. Similarly, parents must learn to ensure their children's safety by equipping them with essential life skills. As children enter their teenage years, it's crucial to encourage independence and self-reliance. Overprotective parenting has been linked to the rise of boomerang kids, adult children who return to their parents' homes due to a lack of preparedness for the real world. Thus, rather than trying to shield children from all potential harm, focus on providing them with the tools they need to flourish in life. Balance praise and humility. Overpraising and prioritizing children can unintentionally result in a sense of entitlement, affecting their capacity for empathy and satisfaction. To counteract this, parents should encourage humility, gratitude, awe, and establish a clear household hierarchy. By striking a balance, children will develop trust in themselves and make better decisions. Many parents understandably place their children at the center of their world. However, this can unintentionally create the impression that the child is the center of the entire universe. A firm belief in one's exceptionality can lead to entitlement, reduced empathy, perpetual dissatisfaction, and the notion that success should come without effort. Children may develop a superiority complex due to various reasons. Some parents may shower excessive affection to compensate for their deprived childhoods, while others believe that extra attention can shield their children from bullying, eating disorders, or the perils of social media. For example, Carol and Tom pampered their daughter Brittany and catered to her every whim, only to later realize that she became a self-centered and unsympathetic, mean girl at school. To address an inflated ego, parents should introduce humility and balance their praise. Instead of praising results with phrases like, "You're the fastest runner ever," focus on appreciating the effort put in, "Your training really paid off." Practicing gratitude as a family, such as sharing things to be grateful for at dinner, helps establish a grounded mindset. Experiencing awe offers a fresh perspective. Research from the University of California, Berkeley, revealed that children develop a sense of being part of something greater than themselves when exposed to awe-inspiring experiences, like witnessing natural wonders or visiting dinosaur exhibits. Additionally, establishing a well-defined hierarchy within the household is crucial. Parents must do this by setting unyielding terms, implementing consequences, offering rewards instead of bribes, and maintaining a united front with their partner. Excessive power hinders a child's development. They test boundaries, seeking assurance that parents have things under control. Demonstrating mental fortitude teaches children to trust themselves and make sound decisions. Nurturing excellence, not perfection. The pursuit of perfection can hinder a child's mental health and development. As parents, we should encourage our children to strive for excellence rather than holding them to unrealistic standards. By valuing their self-worth and teaching them the importance of learning from their mistakes, we can help them grow into well-rounded, resilient adults. Do you live by the saying, "A diamond is a chunk of coal that did well under pressure"? While it might sound inspiring, applying such a mentality to parenting can have negative consequences. Parents who view their children as extensions of themselves and push them towards perfection may inadvertently do more harm than good. Calibrating your approach can significantly impact your child's mental health and growth. Excessively high expectations can lead to a child developing socially prescribed perfectionism, believing that they are only worthy of love if they don't make mistakes. Extreme cases can even lead to deadly consequences, as 70% of boys aged 12 to 25 who took their lives in a 2013 study had put enormous pressure on themselves to be perfect. Clearly, the burden of perfection is unhealthy. Instead, parents should encourage their children to strive for excellence, focusing on their self-worth rather than flawless performance. Offer balanced feedback, praise, criticism, and praise, to help children understand their strengths and areas for improvement. Helicopter parenting, marked by constant micromanagement and boundary overstepping, can prevent children from learning how to bounce back from setbacks. Such parenting can result in long-term consequences like difficulty transitioning into adulthood, discomfort in decision-making, and problems in addressing emotional and physical needs. These children may also be more prone to depression, dependency on medications, or engaging in substance abuse. The key lies in helping children learn from their mistakes and teaching them the importance of overcoming challenges. By sharing stories of personal failures and growth, we can demonstrate that we all are works in progress. A healthy approach to parenting focuses on nurturing excellence, resilience, and growth instead of forcing a suffocating quest for perfection. Embrace pain for growth. When Julie and Michael divorced, they maintained their family routine to protect their children from the pain of separation. As time passed, Julie found it necessary to set boundaries and let her children experience the emotional discomfort. By facing adversity, the kids grew stronger, developing resilience, self-esteem, and problem-solving skills. Acknowledging and dealing with pain enhances our awareness, empathy, and mindfulness, contributing to personal growth. Julie and Michael, two parents who sought guidance in family therapy, divorced with the fear that their separation would cause distress to their children. To ease the transition, the couple continued to share meals and holidays, keeping the family dynamic seemingly unchanged. However, Julie's desire to move on with a new partner exposed the need for a more definite separation and prompted her to reconsider her approach. Though the impulse to shield children from painful experiences is understandable, especially if they have already faced challenges, avoiding these situations can unintentionally suggest that they are delicate and unable to cope. Instead, when children confront and navigate difficulties such as a parental divorce, they strengthen their self-esteem and build invaluable problem-solving skills, ultimately discovering their own resilience and capabilities. Children who never develop these essential life skills may grow into adults who struggle to manage pain and resort to unconstructive coping mechanisms. Recognizing this, Julie decided to establish boundaries with her ex-husband, ceasing their shared dinners and holiday celebrations. Although their children found this change upsetting, they also learned valuable lessons from it. Embracing and resolving pain not only helps develop resilience, but it also sharpens our senses, allowing us to truly appreciate pleasure by contrast. Moreover, it fosters empathy and understanding, making it easier for individuals to relate to others and nurture social connections. Pain also acts as a catalyst for mindfulness, capturing our attention and encouraging us to be fully present in each moment. Emotional intelligence for kids. Helping children build emotional intelligence is crucial for their future success and well-being. Parents should provide validation and support, allowing children to experience a wide range of emotions without interruption. Encourage open discussions about emotions, using specific feeling words to avoid cliché responses. Additionally, working with your child to identify mood boosters and healthy coping mechanisms will promote self-awareness, which is essential in managing emotions. Many parents find overt displays of negative feelings unsettling, often trying to change the subject or cheer their children up instead of allowing them to express their emotions. However, children need validation and support when learning to manage difficult emotions. If they're unable to tolerate sadness, they may become less willing to face risks in the future due to a fear of failure or rejection. Allow your child to fully experience various emotions to develop their mental and emotional resilience. This will serve them well throughout life, as the ability to deal with emotions impacts personal and professional success. Research from Penn State shows that children who develop pro-social skills, such as sharing and getting along with others, are more likely to complete college and secure full-time employment by age 25. In contrast, those struggling with these skills face higher risks of substance abuse, legal issues, and incomplete education. Introducing emotional intelligence to your family starts with open communication. Share your feelings and encourage your child to do the same. Help your child build an emotional vocabulary by using specific feeling words that describe what they're feeling, not just the situation that triggered the emotion. Avoid cliches such as, butterflies in my stomach, and opt for words like, nervous, instead. While it's natural to experience negative emotions, teach your child healthy ways to balance them. Work together to identify mood boosters that bring happiness, like engaging in a favorite activity or spending time with a beloved pet. By teaching your child to manage their emotions and take responsibility for their own mood, you'll foster greater self-awareness and long-term success. Nurturing discipline through persistence. Effective parenting involves fostering a nurturing, learning-based discipline while avoiding harsh punishments and short-term solutions. By emulating positive authority figures, setting clear expectations, and encouraging perseverance towards larger rewards, parents can teach their children the value of persistence and self-control. Prioritizing self-care and replenishment is essential for parents to maintain the emotional and physical energy needed to make the best choices for their children. Raising a child can be incredibly demanding, and it's easy to revert to the simplest solutions, such as yelling, punishment, or shaming, to enforce discipline. However, such harsh methods can lead to increased aggression, behavioral issues, and even mental health problems. A healthier approach to discipline emphasizes learning and improvement, teaching your child to strive for a reward rather than avoiding punishment. Establishing this perspective begins by identifying positive authority figures and adopting their leadership traits in parenting. For instance, a great leader communicates clear expectations. Similarly, consistently enforcing rules and logical consequences as a parent cultivates discipline. Implementing a specific, thoughtful reward system adds to the effectiveness. Rather than resorting to temporary problem or emotion-related fixes, such as giving in to whining or postponing tackling challenging tasks, mentally strong parents promote persistence. Help your child set attainable goals, like reading a certain number of books over the summer. Stanford researchers show that children who learn to wait for larger rewards instead of succumbing to instant gratification are more likely to succeed later in life, with accomplishments like higher SAT scores and lower rates of obesity or drug use. It's essential to understand that practicing healthy discipline requires patience and effort. Parents must also set aside time for self-care activities, such as exercise or connecting with friends. By nurturing their well-being, parents can replenish their emotional and physical energy reserves, empowering them to make the best choices for their children. Instilling values in children. It's crucial for parents to consider the values they're teaching their children, as they learn more from their actions than words. A good way to align behaviors with intended values is by creating a family mission statement. With everyone's input, this statement helps define priorities and teaches children the significance of certain values early in life. Parents often find themselves overwhelmed with the numerous pressing situations in life, making it easy to lose sight of the bigger picture, teaching the right values to their children. For instance, Kyle, a 15-year-old straight-A student, was caught cheating and expelled from a special program for college classes. He believed his parents valued academic achievements more than anything else, prioritizing reputation over character and grades over honesty. Upon reflection, Kyle's parents realized they needed to align their behavior with the values they intended to teach him. Children grasp values more from what their parents do than from what they say. According to a Harvard University survey in 2014, most parents want their children to learn caring. However, 80% of teens think their parents prioritize achievement over kindness. To instill values effectively, parents must first define them clearly. One approach is by creating a family mission statement, which involves gathering household adults and discussing the values they want to impart to their children. This can be followed by a family meeting that covers topics like, what makes us a family, and, what can we accomplish as a family. By crafting a concise statement, families can express and prioritize what's most crucial to them. To ensure these values are understood and followed, parents should teach them from the earliest years, modeling and explaining a sense of altruism. For example, making soup for a sick neighbor and explaining the importance of kindness in the process helps children grasp the concept of doing good things for others. This way, children learn that mentally strong people use their abilities to make the world a better place.
In conclusion, 13 Things Mentally Strong Parents Don't Do provides valuable insights for parents on how to raise self-assured and resilient children. By instilling the right values and promoting healthy mental habits, parents can help their children navigate through life's inevitable challenges with grace and confidence. Key takeaways include the importance of teaching your child to handle responsibilities, constructively responding to emotions, practicing humility, fostering a growth mindset, communicating properly, and setting healthy boundaries. Ultimately, raising a mentally strong child starts with you, the parent, as your example significantly influences your child's attitude and approach towards life.